without works is dead. Now, don't be like we were in New Jersey. I don't mean to talk about my state, but I got to be honest with you. We had an election for Barack Obama, 2008. I went to the polling place and there were lines around the building, Pastor. I was so excited. I walked to the end of the line. I don't know how you all treat your elected officials here, but I got to the end of this long line, walked up, woman on the end of the line. You think she would say, Mayor, it's so good to see you, Mayor. But I walk up to the end of the ine, and this woman looks at me and says, don't you think you're cutting in this line now? I don't care who you are. You ain't special. And I looked at her, I'm the mayor of the city. I looked at her and I said, yes, ma'am. I waited hours on that line. Nothing was going to stop me from making history and putting the first black man in the White House. But I want to tell you something. A man of quality, a man of character, the best man for the job, and he as African American was a nice thing on top. But I tell you, I got to the end of the line and commotions, people, somebody was upset, the name wasn't in the book, they were ready to cause a fight. 1 year later, we had a governor's race in New Jersey. Now, y'all don't know who my governor is. He keeps quiet, low profile. Y'all don't know who my governor is. But it was a governor's race, a Republican versus a Democrat. 1 year after the Barack Obama race, I go to vote. Nobody was at the polls. I got into poll workers, they looked lonely. Had to hug them. I don't know what translation you all have in the Bible. It says, Sermon on the Mount, blessed are the meek. I think down at the bottom somewhere it says, blessed are the poll workers. They work long, tough days, get 2 pieces of bread and some bologna, no mustard either. They were lonely. Democrat lost in that race, not because we didn't have the numbers, because we didn't show up. And then people want to complain to me. People walking up to me and said they cut the earned income tax credit. They cut Planned Parenthood. They cut aid to cities. Look what they're doing to us. No, I say, you got it wrong. Look what we did to ourselves. Mark Alston said it better than I can. He said, we will have to repent in our day and age, not because of the vitriolic words and violent actions of the bad people, but the appalling silence of the good people. God gave us everything we need to make a way out of no way. We are a people who come up the rough side of the mountain. We are people who fought a mighty good fight. We have shown, in fact, the testimony of our trials screams loudly to the perpetual accomplishment of the impossible. And now we are here at this moment in time, and we have a choice. Kay Hagan, I've been in the Senate just 7 months. I still have that new Senate smell. But I'm telling you right now, this is an extraordinary person. Sometimes the best man for a job is a woman. She may be shorter than me, but I look up to her. Because she is the senator of, Pastor says, I like it. I tell you now, Pastor, I walk into the Senate and I see a person who is honoring my dad's state. When they were cutting money to historically black colleges and universities, Kay Hagan was fighting to get them the resources they need in tough financial times. When they were threatening programs for public education for our children, to stop that and to try to cut the school-to-prison pipeline, Kay Hagan was fighting for public education. When they were trying to roll back women's rights and voting rights and civil rights, Kay Hagan stood in the well of the Senate, lifted her voice, and spoke truth to power. And so I'm here in North Carolina on a day I should or could be campaigning in my state. Because New Jerseyans understand that this Senate election is going to turn on what happens in North Carolina. I'm here in North Carolina on Father's Day to give respect and honor to all those who raised my daddy and took care of my daddy and educated my daddy. And I am here in North Carolina and ask you, will you stand with me? Will you stand with me for justice? Will you stand with me for civil rights? Will you stand with me for voting rights? Will you stand with me to honor our ancestors? Will you stand with me for our children yet unborn? Will you stand with me for sound, practical policy? Will you stand with me for not politicians who divide, but politicians who bring us together? Will you stand with me got a tough battle ahead of us.